Merry Christmas, Colts Nation. Hope you guys are having a great day. Thank you for taking time out of your day to stop by the channel. Unfortunately, I'm not sitting here talking about a win with you. What happened yesterday was a bit embarrassing. I'm not going to lie, man. What we did against the Bengals a couple weeks ago happened once again. We go on the road and get drummed on. Which earlier this season, we were winning on the road all the time. We couldn't win at home. Now the roles are reversed. We're dominating at home, then getting dominated on the road. So, starting off with what happened in this one, I was able to watch it while I was in the car on my way to Miami to watch that Dolphins game. And this whole game, like the very beginning was good, right? Colts, first drive, take 5 minutes off the board, score 7, right? Looked like we were about to have our way with the Falcons. And then the Falcons go and get the ball. And at that point, that's when it kind of started to snowball, right? Their first drive was way too easy. Just big play, big play, big play, touchdown to Kyle Pitts. And then even there in the first half, we were able to keep it close, but the offense wasn't doing anything, right? Falcons end up getting a field goal. Then they get another field goal. We go into halftime down 13-7. And then coming out of halftime, that's where it once again started to snowball. That first drive in the second half, way too easy. Tyler Algier, 31-yard rush, outside zones. That was it for the Falcons. That was the game plan. We're going to run outside zone, and then what we're going to do is go outside zone, and then when we get another first down, we're going to go outside zone, outside zone, outside zone to the right, outside zone to the right, outside zone to the right. Dude, they abused outside zones against us all day long, and we didn't adjust and make anything happen with it. And at the end of the day, not only do you not adjust, it just can't be that easy to beat us, right? Okay, just because teams are running away from Grover Stewart and DeForest Buckner, we have to find a way to make it happen. That comes back on Gus Bradley. Coaches are supposed to put their players in positions to make things happen. Okay, so Gus Bradley, yes, had a terrible game. The Falcons scored more points against us than they have in any game this season. Okay, that in itself is embarrassing. Then you look at all the stats here. We're looking at 406 total yards for the Falcons. Okay, the Colts only had 262. Passing yards, 229. Rushing yards, 177. Yards per play, 6.3. The Falcons did whatever they wanted against us today. And again, it was outside zone, outside zone, outside zone. That was all I could say during the game. I was with some family on the way to Miami, and I just kept saying, hey, look, another outside zone, another first down, another outside zone, another first down. We just could not stop. And yeah, Gus Bradley, terrible day. You also have to talk about the players, right? Rodney Thomas, terrible day. Zaire Franklin, easily his worst game of the year. Okay, Grover Stewart missing tackles. DeForest Buckner missing tackles. Too many missed tackles, right? Julian Blackmon leaves this game pretty early with an injury and is unable to come back. I believe it was a shoulder injury, and he was unable to come back. Yeah, that factors into it. But, dude, at some point, you just have to adjust. And for the most part this year, that's what this team has been good at. Gus Bradley, the one thing he's had in his back pocket is the adjustments as the game goes on. For the most part, the defense locks down, especially in the fourth quarter. They're able to lock down, keep points off the board, keep giving us opportunities. This was the first time in the last 20 games that we weren't able to force a turnover on defense. So it was just all in all, the team did not show up. Okay, and this feels like a classic case of looking past an opponent, right? When you look forward, the Raiders next week and the Texans the week after that, were they looking ahead and not focused enough on what was in front of them? Yeah, we should have dominated this game. But guess what? You overlooked your opponent. You didn't prepare the right way. You came in and you got smacked in the mouth once again. 2 in 3 weeks getting smacked in the mouth when it's time to play your best football. So when I say this, I don't say this lightly. This team, this Colts team, 2023, doesn't deserve to see the playoffs. Dude, if you can't beat the Falcons, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs. Who are you going to beat in the playoffs, right? You got to show up, man. You got to show up every single day. And yeah, sure, it's easy for me to say, being a couch coach, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm just a spectator. I'm not out there on the field putting in the work. Yeah, I get it. But we've seen this team come into some of these games and take them over, right? You think about the Ravens game. Ravens, number 1 seed in the AFC. We won that game with Gardner Minshew and Zach Moss. Texans earlier in the season dominated that game with mostly Gardner Minshew and Zach Moss. Steelers, we were finally able to beat the Steelers. Guess what? Gardner Minshew and Zach Moss. And then you come in this game, Gardner Minshew and Jonathan Taylor. I don't think anybody would say that Jonathan Taylor is worse than Zach Moss, right? We should have been better, but we weren't able to get anything going. And maybe, yeah, it's partly because Michael Pittman Jr. doesn't go. That, of course, has to factor into it, right? You look at the player stats in this one. Kylan Granson is a leading receiver, 5 catches, 62 yards, which is something we had mentioned with Michael Pittman Jr. being out. It might be a tight end kind of game, and it ended up being that way. Again, Kylan Granson, 5 for 62. Will Mallory, 4 for 47. Those were our 2 leading receivers. Josh Downs, 6 for 39. And at what point are we going to use Josh Downs like an actual receiver instead of the short yardage BS that we're always doing? At some point, you have to let the young man play outside. This was the game where you let him play on the outside, you put DJ Montgomery in the slot, and you let Josh Downs dominate the game from different ways. Okay, you move beyond that. Alec Pierce ends up with 3 catches, 30 yards. Tyler Goodson, 1 catch, 15. DJ Montgomery, 1 catch for 8 yards. We just were unable to get it done in every facet of this game. And yeah, I'm sitting here. I haven't mentioned, one guy, and that guy's going to be Gardner. Gardner played terrible. I don't care. There's a Gardner truther that comes in and watches the videos. I get it, dude. I get it. You like Gardner. Gardner just ain't it, bro. Gardner's a career backup, will always be a backup, and today showed exactly why he will never own a starting job for a long period of time. Okay, because when it matters most, when you need it the most, Gardner ain't going to get it for you. 20 of 37, 201, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. Like, bro, figure it out. Easy throws. He was missing easy throws in this game. Throws that he's hit all season long. You can't miss them. Okay, and yes, again, Michael Pittman Jr. wasn't there. You can put that excuse on it all you want. At the end of the day, it's the Falcons, man. It's the Falcons in 2023. We should have still dominated this game. Gardner played like Dookie, okay? That's just the bottom line. He played like trash. We lost this game because the defense can't tackle and because Gardner can't hit the easy pass. There were plenty of open receivers through this game that Gardner missed because he was throwing high or he was throwing too far outside. Gardner messed this game up for us. And I'm tired of sitting here sugarcoating it week after week just because some of the people that watch these videos are coming in here and are like, well, Gardner's not that bad. Yeah, Gardner might be the best backup in the league, but he's always going to be a backup because of games like what we saw against the Falcons. Okay, now also, offensive line didn't show up. Big Q was one of the MVPs, probably the MVP of the offense in Saturday's game against the Steelers. And then coming into this week, Big Q has one of the worst games I've ever seen from him. Okay, the rest of the offensive line, terrible day. It was just all in all, nothing worked. Again, just like the Bengals game, very similar to the Bengals game where nothing worked on either side of the ball. And this was playoff football, right? We talked about it. This is a playoff game. Now, luckily, the Colts ended up getting a lot of help. Okay, the Jaguars got smoked. Texans got smoked. Broncos lose late. The Steelers beat the Bengals on Saturday, and we own the head-to-head with the Steelers, so we stay above them. But, like, dude, we got a lot of help, but we did not help ourselves. We could be in the lead in this division. This is the second time in 3 weeks we could have been in the lead in this division if we were just able to win the game. Okay, you think the game against the Bengals, had we won that game against the Bengals, we would have been in the lead in the division because the Jaguars lost and the Texans lost on that day. And then you go to last week where all 3 of us win. Then you come into this week and the Jaguars and the Texans both lose. We had the chance, man. It was right there in front of us. We once again had a chance to be in the lead for the division, and we weren't able to get it done. Now, again, we got a lot of help, so we're sitting at the number 7 seed right now. But now we're in a spot where it was just the Browns were a game ahead of a bunch of teams. But now the Browns sitting at 10-5. Now the Bills are on a little run. They're at 9-6. Now we're at 8-7. Texans 8-7. Bengals 8-7. Steelers 8-7. Broncos 7-8. Okay, the Raiders sitting at 6-8, and we play the Raiders next week. So, dude, we can't slip up anymore, right? And at this point, like, do I want to even make the playoffs? Like, yeah, sure. I'm upset. So in heart of hearts, like, right now, I'm like, let's just lose these last couple games, get the best draft position possible, go get a receiver because we're obviously not good enough there. But yes, I would like us to make the playoffs. I want us to continue to win games, right? Like, I'm a fan, dude. I'm a diehard fan. I want us to win every game we play. It's just the way it is. It's the way it's always going to be for me. But again, we did not do ourselves any favors. What happened against the Falcons was absolutely embarrassing, and we're going to need better going forward. So I'd love to know what your opinion is on everything that happened. You give me your thoughts. Everything that bothered you from the game. You let me know down in the comments sections. Let's air our grievances. Let's go ahead, use the comments as an overreaction Monday therapy session. You go ahead, do that, and let's talk about it. Right. I know everybody's got to have something that they need to say. So go ahead and say it. And before we get out of here, of course, once again, Merry Christmas, man. I hope you have an outstanding day. Of course, Colts couldn't get a win for us, so that sucks. But it's a big day for family. It's really, the main thing for me is hanging out with family, being able to see people that I love. And being able to, to just kind of kick back, relax. We have a lot of football games happening today. So, I hope you have a fantastic day. And whether you've been here since the beginning on this channel or whether you're one of the newer subscribers, man, I love you guys all, man. I love the support from you guys. Been a little while since we really had a conversation like that. But, every day that goes by, you know what I mean? I keep coming back to this because you guys are so awesome. The support from you guys, talking about how much you enjoy the content, gives me motivation, keep coming up with the best content possible. And, my passion for this team is never going to go away. I absolutely love the game of football. I love the Colts. So this is going to keep going on. So make sure you're subscribed. If you're not, make sure you have those notifications on because we have videos every single day on this channel for the most part. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.